Advanced Foods 2. You ready to cook some rice? I'm going to demo Mexican chicken with rice. We're going to talk about, before I go into the demo, I want to talk to you a little bit about rice. If you did your PowerPoint, you should already know that there's so many different varieties of rice. So when I went into school on Monday of this week, raided the pantry to bring home some stuff that I could use for my demos, I grabbed some things, because if we would have been at school, we would be doing a rice tasting. Each group would be assigned a different type of rice: jasmine, basmati, arborio, long grain, short grain, medium grain, instant whole grain rice. I would make up some couscous, I'd make up some quinoa, because they're all part of that grain group. So when I got into the cabinet, I did find something that I usually make. There is a black rice. This is called black hapanca. Okay, and there's not much left in here, but I just thought I'd grab it to show you guys. It is literally, it looks like the black stuff in wild rice. Okay, see those black grains? And it does turn black when you cook it. It's got a little bit of a nutty flavor to it. Not much there, but it's different. Does make can add some color to a dish. I grabbed some wild blend rice, which is a blend of different types. There's a little bit of black rice in there too, a little bit of brown. So you can see the grains of the wild rice, the wild blend rice. This takes a little bit longer to cook. If I could read the package, I don't have my glasses with me. You guys know how I do. Let me see what it says. It doesn't say exactly what type of rices are in there, but it is a blend of different types of rice. I'm going to say there's a little bit of black hapanca, the wild blend, so on and so forth. I also grabbed couscous. Couscous is not technically a rice. It is a grain, but it's really good, and it's real easy to make. This stuff is really good if you cook it in. If you want a side dish for chicken, cook some couscous in some chicken broth. Adds a lot of flavors. You can add all kinds of things to couscous. Little tiny itty bitty grains in there that it does swell. There's not much as far as nutrients to it, unlike quinoa. If you guys remember quinoa, we did quinoa tacos in Advanced Foods 1. The quinoa is a berry, and it actually pops open, and it's a grain, and it's a complete protein. Couscous is more of a type. Couscous is kind of like the middle of the corn type stuff. If you want to think about the little seed that's in the middle of a corn, that's similar to what this stuff is. All right, we are going to be using instant rice. So this is instant rice I grabbed from school. We are making a very simple dish called Mexican chicken and rice. I've posted it on Schoology. This is easy to do. It calls for 2 cups of frozen pre-cooked chicken. So anytime I buy a rotisserie already made chicken at the grocery store and I shred it up, anything that's left over that we don't eat, I freeze it in baggies. I can put it in chicken quesadillas, I put it in chicken and noodles, so on and so forth. So I reached in my fridge and I had 2 cups of frozen, this is shredded chicken, some pre-cooked shredded chicken, half a cup of frozen chopped onion. So I had some frozen chopped onions, so the onions are already chopped up and they're frozen. I need a tablespoon of vegetable oil. I've got canola oil here. We use canola oil at school, a little bit healthier than the vegetable oil, so that's what I'm going to put in, but don't use olive oil. You need a 15-ounce jar of your favorite salsa. So again, when I was at school, we had those big cans of Red Gold salsa. I had some left over, so I grabbed that, measured out 15 ounces. So that's some of the Red Gold salsa that's made in Indiana. So that's about 15 ounces. You need 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth, which I have right here. Now, something that the recipe calls for that I'm not putting in mine because we're eating it here at my house and we don't eat some of this stuff, is you can put a jalapeno and black olives in it. If you want to do a jalapeno, you can seed it, take the seeds out, and just slice it up. Okay? Or you can leave the seeds in if you want the heat. So it calls for like 1 jalapeno that's been seeded, meaning you take the seeds out and slice it up. You could put 1/4 cup of black olives, sliced black olives in it. We don't eat that in my house, so I'm not putting it in here. You need 1 cup of instant rice and 3/4 cup of the Mexican, where is it? Styled shredded cheese. I bought the Fiesta blend, of course. And I also have, I bought for our house the other night, I can't remember what I was making, but I bought the white crumbly, like the queso cheese, that I'm going to shred into it. Okay, so let's see if I can get this thing turned, and very easily. I've got my large skillet. It says sauteed chicken and onion and a tablespoon of vegetable oil. I don't know this recipe off the top of my head, so you're going to have to bear with me because I'm going to have to read it while I do it. So I've got my skillet on. Need a tablespoon of oil. Got my large skillet. That goes over here. So it says onions. That goes in. And my chicken. So my chicken's gonna, kind of frozen, kind of stuck together. I'm gonna bring my camera over here so you can kind of see how things are going. So I don't want to make you car sick when I move my camera, but that's what's gonna happen here in about a second. So let me see about bringing this over. This is my kitchen. See if I can turn it down. Hopefully it doesn't fall. All right, so bear with me. I'm hoping this will work. Who knows? Maybe it's not going to cooperate. There. Let's see if I can tighten it. All right, you can see at least it's not tipping over. All right. Get out one of my good spoons. We want this to start breaking up. Get that chicken to thaw out a little bit. I got that big piece. There we go. Now it's breaking up. Get this to separate. I hope you guys, okay, but I gotta say it. I know there's people that are sleeping through this video. I know there's people that are on their phones. I feel like I'm at school doing a demo. And those people I have to fight with. Get your heads up. Don't think, oh God, is this done? This is going to be a short one. All right, so we're getting that to saute up. Do this for about 3 minutes. Then we need to add our salsa. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Turn that down to about medium. I need a cup of rice. Which I didn't have that measured out, but that's all right. So in this skillet goes the salsa. Goes the broth. And if you're putting jalapenos or black olives, they would go in at this time too. Stir this up. And we need to bring it up to a boil. So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit to about medium-high heat. Put it on about 8. When it comes up to a boil, we add the rice. We add the rice, remove it from the heat, and let it sit for about 5 minutes. The instant rice is going to cook in all of this. So let me get this up to a boil. This is a really good dish to put in tortillas, flour tortillas, corn tortillas, any of those. This is a really good dish that would make a really good burrito, to be honest with you. And that's usually what students do. This is one of the recipes that students would choose from in class. All right, stir that rice in. Now, properly cooked rice is not crunchy. It is not mushy, it's firm. So we need to make sure that this rice is not crunchy when it cooks. So we're going to let steam cook it. So I'm going to put the lid on this. Turn it off the heat. Let it stand for about 5 minutes till that rice is tender. Stir in the rice, remove it from the heat, sprinkle with Mexican cheese. We can put the Mexican cheese on there now. That'll help to cook the rice if I can find my Mexican cheese. So let me get the Mexican cheese in there. Calls for about 3/4 of a cup. You know you can never have enough cheese. Okay, let this sit. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. I will come back to you in 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. Let's check to see if our rice is done. The best way to tell if rice is done, number 1, liquid needs to be absorbed. And the best way to tell is to taste it. I can almost tell you right now that this is not done because those granules have not absorbed. They have not swollen up. Yeah, those are crunchy. Those need to sit. And I always remember with this recipe, and I had to tell students, it's got to sit for a while. In fact, I'm going to turn this on to low and let it sit for another 5 minutes. I did another 5 minutes. I need to increase it on that sheet because it usually takes about 10 minutes that it's got to sit. So let's look at this. Yes, you can see how the rice has expanded. I'm pretty sure that this has got it. Yep, the rice is no longer crunchy. It's firm. It's not mushy. So you can see I have a plate here with a flour tortilla. Like I said, this goes really good as a burrito. It could go over tortilla chips, that type of stuff. So take that. I told you guys I had this Mexican soft queso cheese. That's really easy to just grate a little bit on there. You could put some more jalapenos on there. You could put a little bit of cilantro if you want to kick it up. And basically fold that up. That's what I'm going to do. And roll it. And that's a burrito. So that's going to go to my taste tester that is somewhere in this house who is absolutely starving. So see how he likes it. But this is a great, easy recipe. Rice is something easy to make. It's something easy to, it's very versatile. A lot of people don't like rice. but it takes in a lot of flavor. So this wild rice, I was able to find my glasses. See, I found my glasses. And what's in it is, which is what I thought, long grain brown rice, some sweet brown rice, some wild rice, some red rice, and some black rice. This is also a good company. It takes a little bit longer for this stuff to cook though. So when you're cooking rice, you want it to absorb all the water. That's going to be a big difference than when you're cooking pasta. So anytime you cook rice, you don't want any water left. You want it to triple, and it will triple in size, will absorb all that water. You not just have to use water, you can use chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth, different, liquids go really well with rice. So hopefully you guys enjoy the recipe. I will see you next time. Hey America, let's keep cooking.